Hi everyone, this is Toyba from Toyslab Creations. Today I'm going to be making a very beautiful romper for baby girls. So for this project, I'm going to be needing DK weight yarn or light worsted weight yarn, 4.5 mm crochet hook, and stitch markers. So to start, I'm going to make a slip knot and then chain 12. So go ahead and chain 12. I will join you when I'm through with my chains. So I've chained 12. So I'm going to skip the first 2 stitches, 1, 2, and into the third chain from the hook, I'm going to make a half double crochet. So I'm going to mark my first stitch. And then I'm going to make a half double crochet into each chain across. So at the end of row 1, I should have a total of 10 half double crochets. So just go ahead and do yours, and I'll join you when I'm through with mine. So I'm through with row 1 and I have 10 half double crochets. So moving on to row 2, I'm going to chain 2. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch. Turn and make 2 half double crochets into the first stitch. 1. I'm going to mark my first one. And then second one to the same stitch, and then make a half double crochet into each stitch along, and I'll make 2 half double crochets into the last stitch. So at the end of row 2, we should have a total of 12 half double crochets. So I'll just go ahead and do mine off camera, and I'll join you at the end of row 2. So I'm through with row 2 and I have 12 half double crochets in total. So I'm just going to keep increasing using this method until I get to row 10. So for row 3, chain 2, turn, make 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, then mark my first stitch and a half double crochet into each stitch across, and then into the last stitch you make 2 half double crochets. So just keep increasing like that until row 10, and I will join you when I'm through with row 10. So I've made it to row 10 and I have 28 stitches. So moving on to row 11 now, I'm going to chain 2. Remember, this chain 2 does not count as a stitch. Chain 2, turn, and then make a half double crochet in the first stitch. So you're not going to be increasing again, and then make a half double crochet in each stitch across. So at the end of row 11, we'll still have 28 half double crochets. So just go ahead and finish row 11, and I'll join you at the end of the row. So I'm through with row 11 and I have 28 half double crochets. So moving on to row 12, chain 2, turn, make a half double crochet into the first stitch. I'm basically repeating row 11. So I'm just going to be making a half double crochet into each stitch across until we get to row 20. So for rows 12 to 20, repeat row 11, and I'll join you when I'm through with row 20. So I've made it to row 20 and I have 28 half double crochet. So moving on to row 21 now, I'm going to chain 2, turn, make 3 half double crochets into the first stitch. 1, I'll mark my first stitch, and make 2 more half double crochets into the same stitch, and 3. So I'm going to make 3 half double crochets into each stitch across. So just go ahead and make 3 half double crochet into each stitch across, and I'll join you at the end of the row. So this is what I have at the end of row 21. So for rows 22 to 26, I'm just going to chain 2, turn, make a half double crochet into the first stitch. I'll mark my stitch, my first stitch, and then make a half double crochet into each stitch across. So there will be no increases and no decreases for rows 22 to 26. Just make a half double crochet into each stitch across, and you should have 84 half double crochet on each row. So I will join you at the end of row 26. So I've made to row 26. So this is what I have so far. So moving on to row 27, I'm going to be reducing on this row. So chain 2, turn. I'm going to start with a half double crochet 3 together. So yarn over, insert into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. We have 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. We have 7 loops on our hook. So I'm going to yarn over and pull through all. So that's a half double crochet 3 together. So I'm going to mark my first stitch. I'm just going to repeat that across the row. So at the end of the row we should have 28 stitches again. So I'll go ahead and finish mine, and I'll join you when I'm through. So far. So moving on to row 28 now, I'm going to chain 1. 28 to be a row of single crochets. So I'm going to make a single crochet into the first stitch. I'll mark my stitch and the single crochet into each stitch across. So at the end of row 28 I shall have a total of 28 single crochets. So I'll join you at the end of the row. So I'm through with my row of single crochet, and this is what I have so far. So I chained 1 and cut my yarn. So the next thing to do now is I'm going to make this strap. So I'm going to count 7 stitches from both ends. So let me count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And into the 7th stitch I'm going to reattach my yarn, make a slip knot. I'm going to reattach my yarn and then chain 50 for the strap, for the shoulder strap. So I'll just go ahead and chain 50, and then I'll repeat the same thing on this end. Count 7 from the other edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And into the 7th one I will attach my yarn again and then make a chain of 50. So I'll just go ahead and do that, and then come back to do the back part of the romper. So this is what I have so far. I'm through with the straps. So for the back piece now, I started with the same chain 12 and then made it to row 11. And instead of repeating row 11s, instead of repeating row 11 for rows 12 to 20, I repeated it for rows 12 to 27. So for the final row, which is row 28, I'm going to chain 1, turn, and make a single crochet into each stitch across. So just go ahead and make a row of single crochet, and I will join you at the end of the row. So I'm through with row 28. I chain 1 and then cut my yarn. So for the strap now, I'm going to count. This is my first stitch here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And into the 7th stitch, I'm going to attach my yarn with a slip knot and then chain 50 for the strap. So I just go ahead and chain 50 and then count 7 from here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Into the 7th one, make the second strap. So I'll join you when I'm through with both straps. So I'm through with the back piece now. So the next thing to do is to sew up the romper. So to do that, I'm going to be placing both pieces on top of each other. So I'm going to be using this side as the wrong side. You can see this place looks neater and there's no yarn there. So this will be my right side. So I'm going to be placing both with the right side facing. So I'm going to place the right side of the front. So this is the wrong side of the front. So I'm going to place the right side facing each other like this. Then I'm going to sew from row 11. So I count through 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So from row 11 on both pieces, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. So from here I'm going to sew all the way to row 28, and then do the same thing on the other end also. And then I'm going to sew this part up too. So I'll just go ahead and do that off camera, and I will join you when I'm through. So just sew this side and this side, row 11 to 28, and then the bottom part here. I'll join you when I'm through with mine. So I'm through with sewing up the sides and the bottom, and this is what I have so far. So to clean up this edge now, so I'm just going to go around this part with a single crochet. So attach your yarn and needle onto any side, any part of the leg. So I'm just going to start a slip knot. Chain one, and then single crochet around. So you can just mark that, so when you go around, you just come back and end it here. So I'll just go around the single crochets, and then I'll come back to this point, then slip stitch to the beginning, chain one and cut my yarn, and then I'll repeat the same thing for the other leg. So just go ahead and do that, and I'll come back to show you my final piece. So I'm through with that. You can see that it looks neater now. So that's all for this tutorial. You can find the free written pattern on my blog, and also the paid pattern that contains 3 other sizing options is available in my Ravelry, Etsy and Lovecraft stores. So I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Hope to see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.